Hey there, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Things are gorgeous outside. I was about to get started on a project, and then I remembered that I promised you all that I would be a little bit more on top of, doing videos and the whole YouTube thing where we met each other. And so today we are getting rid of some more lawn. Let's take a look at some stuff. Over here, we have my little tractor. I just came back from the neighbor's yard. And by yard, I mean his trail in the woods. A few years ago, they demolished and filled in an old foundation, and they pulled up a ton of cinder blocks and things. And so, in our conversations, I was like, "Hey, what are you doing with those?" And he was like, "Letting them sit there. If you want them, take them." So I did. This is a very, very small percentage of what is there, but I should be able to get through what I need to do with that. And if not, I can make another trip. But the project today is taking our air prune boxes here and getting rid of another little stretch of grass. We've had a whole lot of success with the sheet mulching and letting the comfreys take over kind of in here. The lily of the valley is all kind of early season, and it'll kind of go away, and I can manage for them, and they won't survive the shade from the comfrey. But so what we're doing is we're lining up these guys, and I'm going to set another one right here and just build out my little section so that I have an area to walk, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment. So this is going to be our general pattern for this space. The 1 foot blocks are as wide as the boxes, so we should be set there. And then I have a few more to do. So I'm going to set this to the time lapse, and then we're going to go from there. See you in a second. Alright, so I just need one more cinder block over here, and the last of the air prune boxes that is about to be filled, and this space will be good. You guys may have seen in the time lapse, I kind of had a wide step, because if I'm carrying anything in between these, or if I am trying to water and turn or bring buckets of compost or other amendments to top dress, I want to be sure that I'm not clanging myself or crowding myself. And this just gives me a little bit even more of a footprint to block out. And you can see that it's mostly in line with those pallets over there and the line for the beds up here. So I think this is going to look really swell when it's all set. And now I've just got to go grab one more cinder block and one more air prune box. Let's rock and roll. So we are back with the last of the cinder blocks and the last of the air prune boxes. You'll notice this one right here is empty. I haven't filled it yet because it was way easier to move than the other guys were. But I have some remaining soil that I'm going to use, but we were also just fortunate enough to receive a whole mess of wood chips from a friend that we've just made by courtesy of being introduced by a neighbor of ours who is having some trees shipped just a few houses down the road. So we have a few of these, and I have a whole mountain of chips over here. So this is a full trailer load full. We're gonna go through that and start moving it, and I'll probably get another eventual mess of chips a little bit later today. I think that's in the cards. So we'll see how that goes, and we will see if the new neighbors who asked me if I knew where to get wood chips, would be interested in coming over. So I'm going to get back to a little bit of a time lapse. We're going to speed things up a little, and we're going to finish out this little section of getting rid of some lawn. So I am pretty much done with this little section here. My intention is to do the rest of this and bring in a few more of the blue pallets for a few more stagings of other plants as I pot them up and move them up here so that I don't have to truck them as far when we bring them to market. But so the thing that I'm going for is pretty much right to the top of the cinder blocks that we foraged, and down underneath it doesn't have to be too crazy. You don't have to pack it all the way to the bottoms of this. Like, it doesn't have to be like crammed up against this. You want a little bit of airspace underneath there so that you have the airflow necessary to air prune the roots, which is the whole point of doing these air prune boxes. The rest of these are also going to get a little bit of a mix of these fines that you can see interspersed in the chips. I'm going to use a few more offcuts of this 1/2-inch welded wire to sift through the bigger chips. And then I can use the bigger ones for more walkways. I can use the smaller ones and collect those up to use as pot mulch for all of the pots that are going to be filling these pallets. And I can use all of the moisture trapping to create kind of a cool, shady area underneath these boxes such that the water won't evaporate as quickly, and in a few more months I will be able to move these out of the way, harvest what's grown in them, and then turn this whole section over to more of this. Because as much as the grass fills me with joy, and it's not so much joy, it's a nice thing to harvest, but like, this area up here never looks like that area over there, and that's a lawn I want to walk in. This is not. But so this is how we're going to get rid of this less than ideal lawn space to bring more water retention, to bring more mineral fertility in the form of the breakdown of these wood chips and the way that it is going to be cycled through several generations of all kinds of soil life, which bring it tons of concentration, tons of chemical changes that make the surrounding soil that much better. And the extra bonus is that if you're doing something like this, where you're trying to grow a whole bunch of trees, each of these has a couple hundred seeds at minimum of each of the species there. So that's 700 different species, or 7 different species, each one with hopefully a couple hundred individuals coming up in there, such that we can plant them out into the wider world, possibly even at your homes. So yeah, I think this is a totally approachable thing if your parking spaces are at a premium like mine is, because that's my little transplanting, watering workup station, and it makes it easy for neighbors and things, any kind of volunteers, to roll up and help us out if they are so inclined to do such a thing. So I encourage you all to approach this as a type of project where, if you're trying to get rid of some of your lawn and turn it into something more productive, more useful, and more beautiful, air prune boxes, it's a good way to do it. Thanks for watching. Happy planting.